Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with this series of the three months prediction for boy groups, and today it's going to be ENHYPEN's turn. So let's see what they have available for them. They got the cards of the Five of Wands, the Star, the Nine of Cups, the High Priestess, the Eight of Pentacles. And then from the Oracle of Connected and Free, they got the card of Feeling and Form. So, yes, starting off with the Conflict card, that in this deck it's called the Conflict. It's the Five of Wands. And I did shuffle really well the cards, but this is a card that had been coming out pretty often for this boy group series. I believe that there's something about conflict not being solved or things not being properly talked about or addressed. And you know that conflict, it's good in a group's dynamic because it shows also how much someone care. You know, it's about you being able to speak up your truths and also to be able to receive someone else's responses or the way of thinking. It's about accepting the other person's opinion, and to have these conflicts in a group, it's very healthy actually, and it's very honest, and it's very needed actually, you know, instead of pretending like everything is okay and like leave that for the cameras, you know. Especially when I read for them and when I read for any group, it's normal that the tarot actually goes deeper and they talk to me about things that probably you do not see on camera. It doesn't matter how much of a detective you think you are. It shows me part of their of how they function behind the scenes, or probably when they are preparing something, what things, emotions and feelings arises when they are in this process of combining ideas and getting a task done. But you know, the Five of Wands, it's a card that came out first, so it means that it's not going to, this conflict probably happened during the middle of the year, of this year that we are still transiting. And I think that it belongs to the past actually, because then we have the Star card. So definitely this conflict in the past has led to some kind of enlightenment in them, some kind of like opening their eyes and see that they are very lucky, that they have so much available for them. And I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about wonderful experiences, and also the experience of feeling loved by a lot of people. I think that sometimes they are really young, you know, sometimes maybe they do not realize how many people love them, you know, and how many people are so excited to see them or are so excited to continue supporting them, you know. So probably they do have every once in a while a bit of a discomfort, or especially when it comes to being famous. I think that there's something about being an idol and being a famous group, or a group on the rising, you know, an artist, a rising artist, you know, that it puts a lot of pressure on people, you know. It's like you are the chosen one, but sometimes you don't want to be the chosen one. You just want to be popular, but you don't want to be the chosen one. And I think that this is happening to ENHYPEN. They are, this year has been of a lot of maturity for them, and also a lot of reality, in the sense that they are achieving a lot. So this is like they are forming a name for themselves, and they are getting more in contact with the reality that they are stars, you know, and that they are slowly building their own image, and that they are being praised by their own talents and not being compared to any other group. I think that I saw them in the last award show. I believe it was the Mama, but then I saw other one, and I was blown away by their performance. I think that they matured a lot. I remember, I think it was in the middle of this year or in the start of this year. I do not remember anymore. This year seems like it's never ending. That I remember when I watched them perform for the first times that they presented to award shows, they looked really nervous. Probably they did the choreography correctly and they did everything, but there was something about them that just didn't exude confidence. It just exuded that they were really pressured to be there. So, and this is my perception, and this is this is not the tarot speaking, or this is not I'm not claiming to know the truth. This is how I felt about them when I was a viewer of their earlier performances. And then when I saw in a few days ago, when I saw their last performances, the confidence and the stage presence, I was like, and they were having fun, and this is amazing. I love the songs as well. I love the vibe. And I was like, yes, this is what they need to do. This is what they are slowly becoming what they are meant to be, because the star card, it's also a card that talks about destiny. So it talks that they were destined to be stars, and not just because they are part of Hype or because they are in the same company with BTS or with TXT. No, it's not about that. It's more about them slowly having their identity, and people stop like comparing them, and more like being like in this process of recognizing them for their own efforts and not because of association with other popular bands, because their style is very different, their style is very fresh, but I love that I'm seeing a lot of progress and maturity. And the star card, it also talks about the soul, and sometimes it talks about karma, and like everything, it was meant to happen this way, and I think that maybe this is probably they were meant to meet each other in these circumstances. They probably have a bond of private lives, they probably reincarnated and met again in this lifetime in these conditions. So I think that if they have disagreements, or if they have moments where they argue, is because somehow they know each other, and their souls are keen to each other, and sometimes people think that because you are soulmates, or because you know each other from previous lives, that everything is going to go smoothly and everything is going to be lovely. And no, actually no. You can have where you can reconnect with someone that you met on a previous life and have a very uncomfortable relationship, because it depends on how things ended for you too, and the lesson that you have to learn, or you have to observe right now in today's lifetime. So yes. And then we have the Nine of Cups. That is a card of joy. This is what I was mentioning earlier about seeing them enjoy being on stage, seeing them enjoy, and seeing their smiles of satisfaction. Of like, oh, like I'm having fun, like I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of the camera. I'm not afraid of messing up, because there are a lot of like small details when it comes to being on a stage that is recorded, especially by other networks. That everyone has their style. And I think that probably there are a lot of trainees that are aware of this, and probably they know about this. But since they were casted in this survival show almost, Things developed much faster for them. So there are a lot of things that probably they weren't accustomed to, and they had to learn pretty quickly, and this involved a lot of mistakes. So probably there was a fear at the beginning of messing up or doing something incorrectly. But I think that now and in the next 3 months, in the year to come, I think that they are going to connect with joy. They are going to also present a lot of more concepts that is going to be about having fun and about being young and about enjoying the moment. So probably you will get a lot of happy songs, and I'm not saying like happy, like cheesy happy. No, I'm talking about these songs that encourage you to connect with how you feel, and just allow yourself to be open, open to new experiences. So probably you will hear about this. And then they have the card of the High Priestess that also is calling them to be much more intuitive as well. I think that they need to connect more with their emotional world. I believe that they also have the potential of being very intuitive people. They can, avoid a lot of discussions or misunderstandings if they connect with intuition, if they are compassionate to each other. And I know that this is not easy, because whenever I read for ENHYPEN, and I'm not going to say who is who or who does this, but I can sense that they all are, of course, they're different people, but some of them are hard to deal with, in a sense that they do have their temper. Some of them are really stubborn. Some of them are very passive aggressive, that they do not speak up or do not say what they mean, but they probably make you feel guilty for something, So this is when probably the disagreements start. There's a sense of them. All of them have very strong personalities. They have very different ideas of how to go after what they want. So it's normal that they will crash sometimes, that they will have disagreements. And I'm not talking about them not getting along, because people love to feel sorry for them and being like, oh my God, no, someone is hurting the other and they are being mean to one another. And no, guys, this is not like this. No one here is no one's victim. No one here is a victim, actually. They all have personality traits that are very powerful, and they all can be petty as well and selfish as the other. So here there's, at least from what I've been sensing, reading for them for a while, they all have different characteristics. So of course there are some people that look like they wouldn't hurt a fly, but they do have their a way of manipulating people emotionally. So no one here is a saint. And also, I want to clarify, when I talk about conflict or disagreements, it's not them not liking each other. It's about them actually getting what they want, because I feel like their energy is very young, and I think that this is something that probably it's the result of being exposed to fame too soon. That it seems like sometimes they just get too comfortable with being honest, and probably they say a few things to each other and then they forget. So it's about being young. I think that I shouldn't be telling you this, or I shouldn't be explaining this to you, because actually it's pretty easy to understand that these kind of things happen in every group. But whenever I read for ENHYPEN, I always think they have the potential to fix it now, because they will get even more popular in time, so they need to fix it in this time, so it will not prolong in time, so probably. But I think that they are very well taken care of, because then we have the card of the Eight of Pentacles, that it's also talking about them probably working on some details. And I think that this card, it's also talking about working on teamwork, working on the dynamic of the group. I think that they are still going to be working on that next year, because it's the card of circumspection. So I think that they still need to work on their dynamic, but not to do a choreography or sing a song. It's more like to be able to, without them losing their identity, being able um, to build a group's healthy dynamic, in the sense of them respecting each other's differences, because they all are very different. They all are, and they are all pretty stubborn themselves. So I think that next year is also going to be a year of a lot of learning. They are going to be learning a lot, especially about the human side of them, especially about working on the team, and like changing a lot of things of their behaviors, so they can adjust to what the team needs. And I think that in this sense, Hive, or whoever is managing them, it's very intelligent. I think that they realize, they are very well aware that these kids need some lessons, or they need some kind of structure, because they are quick learners. These are guys that they absorb information really well, but what they need to connect the most is feeling, feeling, like connect with your emotions, so not so much absorb information just because you are told to. And then the card from the oracle is feeling and form. So again, this card also talks about you giving your feelings a form, you giving your feelings a purpose, and you also being very mindful of other people's feelings, because I think that, when you're famous, and this was something that I mentioned before, sometimes you get to feel a bit emotional, because you absorb other people's vibe, and you do not know how to deal with this. So probably they do not know how to I'm sorry, how to manage their own emotions. So it would be really healthy for them to have someone that can help them connect with how they feel. But about teamwork and about what's ahead for them, I definitely see a lot of success for them. I definitely see a lot of growth, especially internal growth. And I think that they are coming to the realization that that they are stronger if they are together. And this is something that is very important, for them to recognize each other's, and being like, okay, I need to trust you. This is a process of trusting themselves. It's just that they are very different, all of them. They have different approaches, they have different experiences in life. So it's normal that sometimes they do not fully understand each other. And of course that, I'm going to be honest here. There are a lot of groups that are founded like that. They probably spent their whole career not getting each other, or not liking each other, or not understanding each other, because actually their company didn't spend a minute to be like, oh, maybe we should work on these guys or these girls fixing their issues. But I think that when we are talking about Hive and the way that Hive manages, I think that for them the emotional well-being of the members of all the groups, it's very important. So I think that this is why they will go through this moment of a sort of a scholarship where they will be seated to work on their dynamic and to talk about how they feel and to talk about how they feel about the group and how they feel about themselves or each other, so it's going to be exercising their own opinions without being offensive to each other, and also learning how to communicate properly to a teammate. And I think that this is something, this is very valuable because these kinds of lessons, then they will be able to also use it in their everyday lives and in every relationship that they encounter. So this is something that like I want to take a moment to congratulate Hive, even though Hive doesn't know about me, and I'm happy that they do not know about me because they would probably, I don't know, they would they would sue me, I don't know, for talking about the boys. But I think that they do have this way of treating their members or their artists like people, and I think that this is not something of a big deal actually, guys, but I'm loving to see how the cards are showing me that for them it's a big deal. I mean, for the company and for people around them, it's a big deal because they want these guys to actually be able to enjoy who they are, and not get stressed out because of fear of messing up, or fear of anything, to have a safe place where you can talk about how you feel and where you can resolve your issues in private with a very respectful environment, and you have the possibility to talk about how you feel and what you think, always in a very respectful manner. But it's almost like going to therapy, something like this. And I do appreciate that Hive probably is one of the few, if not the only, that does this. Of course, that I do not, for me, companies are companies and they work for money. So I'm not a fan of companies. Like, I understand why they do what they do, but I just have to clarify that Hive or Big Hit is very intelligent. Like, it's like they take care of their artist mental health before it breaks, because pressure, because fame, popularity, or not being famous at all takes a toll on people. So it's important to them being assisted, to them being listened to, especially because they are very young and they are very impressionable. So yeah, I love this for them. So yes, guys, this is all I have for them. I hope that you enjoyed it, and then later this day I'm going to post another video for the boy group Treasure. I will do that for YG, and I would appreciate if you show your support to that video, because I don't know, I know that there are people that request Treasure's readings, but they are not that popular. So if you could check them out as well and show your support, I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much to the person that recommended me this reading, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.